Praise the Lord, my beautiful, blessed souls. Back here with another message named We'll Be Bruised and Not Broken here. Um, Wanted to come to you quickly with a word that I had. It's really going to bless you because it really blessed me, but I just wanted to share it. This is from Psalms 139, 13 through, let me see. I'm going to go up to 19 again. No, I'll go to 18. Sorry, I'm going to read. For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb. I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. My frame was not hidden from you. When I was made in the secret place, when I was woven together in the depths of the earth, your eyes saw my unformed body. All the days ordained for me were written in your book. Before one of them came to be, Okay, all the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be. How precious to me are your thoughts. God, how vast is the sum of them. Were I to count them, they would outnumber the grains of sand. When I wake, I am still with you. So now what they're talking about, and this message really blessed me because it's been on my mind, but there's been a lot of babies being born. Well, I'm just saying it. My sister just had a baby. Oh, he is so cute, my nephew. And then my daughter, I'm about to have another grand. So I'll be and then it might be my third one. I don't know about the other one. We're gonna have to talk about that later. But anyway. So when I think about birth or being a mom or children, one, I think about God because we're his children. Then two, I think about us and our children. Um And what I really wanted to talk about, because abortion, we already know, is one of the hot topics, along with the homosexuality, along with them being able to marry, but all of these things going on in the world, along with Trump and all of the things that he's doing, whether it's, the DEI stuff and such, so forth. But these are always hot topics, and that's because these are things, really and truthfully, this world is supposed to be built off of God and off of what his commandments and scripture and laws say. But as you can see, or we can see, the devil always mimics. He always, copies God and everything that he does. And so this is where we are with this world. But for people who abort, I'm going to talk about the physical and the actual abortions, which they do in places. And then I'm going to talk about it from the spiritual aspect, from when we do not live out the lives that we were put here to live, because that is also a form of abortion. And this really hit me because, I never really thought about it like that, and I never really saw it this way. So when I saw it, it kind of really hit me. And I think with, life being created now, the next generation's coming in, I'm really starting to think about it more as I get older. I don't think I really took this stuff seriously when I was younger. When we're young, we tend to think we have all the time in the world, we do whatever we want to do, and we're invincible. But as you get older, you start to understand things a little bit greater. So what I wanted to talk about is, like I said, from the time of conception, which is on God, because he sends them here. He sends us here. We're all born here for a reason, a purpose. We have assignment here to do whatever it is God has put us here to do. So when we abort not only the life, but the potential that they had and whatever their purpose and assignment was to come here. Because when God is getting ready to do something, he births. And these are things that I'm just learning. Okay, so whenever there's an issue or problem, someone is born to come and fix it. That is their purpose. That is their assignment. And so human birth, because they have gotten us into this conception, when it happens, when it doesn't, when it's considered a human, a fetus, or whatever. But God considers it as soon as the egg is fertilized and it hits the womb. That is conception. Most of us don't even know when it happens, but God already knows it's taking place. You see what I'm saying? And so here we go. So he births, he sends it to birth it, and it's a promise. It's an assignment. It's here to come and do something, to fix something, to, help with something here on earth. And this is the wonderfulest thing. And they keep trying to clone and imitate, and they can't. Even with the robots, they keep trying to do so much. But life, when it comes to the spirit and the soul, God is the only one that can actually give it and take it. Even devil doesn't have a right. And even though they talk about folks selling their souls to the devil, you don't even have the contract, the title to your soul to sell it to the devil because it belongs to Jesus. But anyhow, I digress. So let's not regard God and his morals. Let's not regard God the way that we should. Don't forget the reverence because of sex. Okay, because we tend to think about sex. I said conception, birth, babies, meaning the turning is the turning process in which something is to be functional instead of a miraculous thing. So we think of it being a functionality instead of a miraculous situation that he's doing, because he's doing it for a reason, it's for a purpose. If we understood that, I think that we would understand better, because we take it as a, oh, sex, oh, contraception, oh, birth control, oh, this. But even sex in itself is not supposed to be had outside of marriage. I'll get to that later on another day. So now, when babies are, conceived, no matter which way they were conceived, because as we see, even in the Bible, there was conceptions. And although we didn't see it as, the way it should be, hey, if that's the way it is, if that's the way God brought it, if that's the way he allowed it, that's the way it is. And no matter the situation or the circumstances, because he redeems time, he redeems our mistakes, he redeems, our sin, he redeems everything. So, okay. So we only see, the regular stuff. We don't see the holiness, all the extra behind, the conception and actual birth. We're just thinking about the legalities of it here, how we're going to feed it, how, we done had sex, we done did this, we done did that, now we're pregnant, if we want it, if we don't, if we're going to get rid of it, if we're going to give it to somebody. See, we look at it like that. We don't look at it the way God see it, as a human life, as an answer to a prayer, as a whole, purpose and assignment put here for a reason. So, we need to show confidence in God that he knows what he's doing, and whatever he gives us is for a reason. No matter if it's, we contend it to be good or bad, because see, our ways is not his ways. He judges us based on us and not others and what has been given to us. And he never discourages us about what we don't have and what we do have. So having confidence in God about our life brings eager expectation. Now, when we think about God and what he says and being fearfully and wonderfully made, this is what he's talking about, because from the beginning, we were put here. We were put here, like I said, for a reason. We're fearfully and wonderfully made in what? In who? In his image. So he's formed us. He sent us here in our mother's womb. It's a miraculous thing. The work itself, being able to carry a child, having it from conception, start out as this, that the whole science behind it, people are still, trying to grasp their minds around it. Like I said, a baby is God's opinion that the world should go on. When we contemplate human birth, that's the way we should think. Our first response should be in reverence. Like I said, we need to have confidence in God, knowing that he knows what to do, and understanding that our confidence in him knows that he brought it here, he's going to care for it, he knows what he's doing with us and with it. Most of life brings eager expectation. Depends on the circumstances. We don't look at it that way. Sometimes we look at children as burdens because we're not in certain situations, or certain things surrounding it was either inconvenient, something we didn't like, but nonetheless, it was our choice to do whatever we did to get pregnant. So we already know that. We think about the child support. We think about all these other things. Birth is an amazing story. We're fearfully and wonderfully made. Each individual child in his own way, even though they don't understand so much, children are being born exceptional or handicapped. So we got children that are born who are exceptional with these exceptional great situations, and then we got some who are handicapped, and then we got some in between. We got fat, we got black, we got white, we got whatever. This is, male, female. All of these things are God's own, you know, variety, I would say. Your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your bills, your this, everything is God's own variety. Trust God. Be thankful that He made us instead of complaining about what we're not or what we are. As gratefully accept from God what we are. He knew all about each of us before birth. Okay, hold on. We need to take confidence in God about our life and be eager for His expectation. Because God's going to do what He want to do with our life, and what He doing is not based on us and our expectation of what we want, how we want it, what we thought it would be. We think that, but in all action, this is why we run into so many issues, because God has already had a map planned out for us, but we make our own plan and decide to do things, and we don't even consult God about it. We need to obey and glorify Him, take the miracle of life. Either we're going to wreck it or present our bodies as living sacrifices. Leaving God out of our life is simply the worst thing we could do, because we're just existing. And we're not really living. Jesus died so that we can fulfill all He has built into us to respond to the power for our life and whatever we were born in, the purpose and assignment here. So we need to be obedient and take what God has given us and use it for His glory, instead of searching for what we cannot and supposed to have. But on top of that, when I was looking at this, like I said, everybody's handpicked to do something. They were put here to do something. They have their own gifts, talents in the spiritual and natural realm. Whether it's, teacher, this, that, that's also in the spiritual realm. Whether they speak in tongues, whether they have prophecy, whatever. But what I wanted to look at was also the spiritual aspect of it, because when we are, running from God and running from His original plan, we're actually aborting the mission. We're aborting, our life, His life plan for us and our life. Meaning, whatever we were put here to do, we're aborting it. We're killing it off. Oh, can I say that? Oh, I'm so sorry. You know what I mean. We're getting rid of it. I apologize. But anyway. So now we need to know and understand that when we're not walking in His will, that's what we're actually doing. Because we're not fulfilling our purpose. We're not fulfilling our assignment that God gave us to come here, and whatever is in this world that we were put here to fix or to help with, we're not operating in that. So we're not doing it. We're not getting it fulfilled, getting the assignment or the purpose fulfilled and taken care of. So when I was thinking about it, I had so much. That's why it's a little jumbled, but I had so much on my mind. But I just wanted to thank God for the amazing story of birth. And even though our lives and whatever transpires in them, because it's good and it's bad, and we always question and wonder why. And I know sometimes I do too, about things. And I know that His ways are not our ways. I know I'm not going to understand or know everything in every step. It was never meant or designed to be that way. Even with my life being perfect, it wasn't meant and designed for it to be that way either. Even though that was what I would have wanted or would have hoped for. Even the delusions that I have up in my mind of what I want to do, where I want to go with my life is not necessarily God's plan. I do have my own free will. But I want to get into the interrupting this miracle, because when we interrupt, like I was saying, because the world has cheapened it to just sex and conception. So intentionally in it is because sometimes we see folks helping, with assisting with what for purposes of, if someone is sickly, they say, oh, just let them go ahead and, or they'll assist them in it. It is a miracle. God made us. He covered us. He protected us. And the baby in the womb is covered by God. Let's not turn the womb into a tomb. Also, it's intentional. And ending this situation It's not of God's plan because we're interrupting God's ultimate plan for them in their lives. Just like when we don't fulfill what we're supposed to do and we run and turn. I was give the Jonah situation where he ran and he didn't want to be bothered and he was scared and afraid and he didn't want to complete his assignment, and then God kind of rerouted him and made him go on back whether he wanted to or not to do what needed to be done. So when we look at these situations, I even looking at the woman with the issue of blood, and they was talking about her and thinking about the issues, because a lot of us have issues in life, and her issue was more than just blood. She had issues. The blood was just what we saw, or what they call it wasn't the source of the problem. It was just the what do you call that? The effect of the problem, but it wasn't the cause. So she had to get down to these other things because, mentally, emotionally, physically, financially, spiritually, she was alienated, she was rejected, she wasn't loved, she was mistreated, so those are, but think about all those other issues that she had because of that. So when we think about these things and we think about our own lives and our jobs and our careers and our children and our families and our friends, and we're trying to balance all of this, and we're not consulting God, and we're not dealing with him, we're not allowing him to be in our life and to show us the path and what our purpose and our assignment is, then we're just aborting the mission. We're aborting him. We're aborting whatever he wants us to do. And so, and when we do it with our children, even medical science, like I said, they keep calling it a collection of human cells, tissue, etc. But God calls it a human being. And we had better be careful of how we treat children. Now we know about all the trafficking, all these stuff, the lying, killing, stealing, destroying. We already know it's in there. And worse, we know when they say when it comes to children, because if you hurt the littlest of these, which is the children, God has a special kind of place for you, and you know where for that. They keep talking about people having special kind of places and people for hell. And if you look it up, it's really different sections depending on what you did of where you're gonna go. And it's intensifies depending on what you did or didn't do. So now, divine law is usually broken when these things are happening, because when the baby is being, conceived, is literally, this is a fight. It's a war to see if it's going to make. And that's even from conception, because you know how hard it is for one cell, for one egg to actually make it, in the conception. So we have to be careful, because the law protects certain things but don't. We got to remember these laws here are not the laws of God. So they're the laws here of man, of Satan, of the world, of his Luciferian, satanic, devilish systems, whatever you would call it. But they are not of God. So we got to think about which one we're doing, because they will contradict and conflict one another when we sit down and we think, well, okay, in the world is okay, but in God's eyes, it is totally not. God is the only one that can give and take life, not man. And the even greatest tragedy is the weight in this life against the infants, meaning these things that lead to mercy, what's because of what goes on in the world. Like I was talking about, when people are seen as not worthy because they're disabled or elderly or old, or, when we put price tags on life and their commodity and their value. You see what I'm saying? And that's what whatever race, color, creed, whatever gender, we cannot put a price tag and value it, because in God's eyes, it is priceless. It is invaluable. Why? Because that is his hard work. He sent that here, that egg, that whatever. And this is along with whatever vision, goals, purpose, assignments he had for us here to be birthed out for us to fulfill. It is the same way. He expects it. He wants it. He toils it. All of these seeds he sends here in the natural and the spiritual, whether it's the animals, the plant life, all of these things that you see them destroying here on earth that God gave to us. And we're supposed to use them and take care of them. We're not supposed to abuse them, kill them off, destroy them, make them sick, whether it's a human, whether it's the earth, the trees, the plants, the animals, whether it's human beings, whether it's the seeds, everything that God created in this world. He said it was good for us to have dominion, to subdue it, to multiply. Okay. And we're doing, as we can see, a lot of the opposite, or the ones that are, powers that be that in charge, that are just doing what they want to do. This is how you get to this place where there's so much oppression and injustice and all of these things that are going on. Because at the end of the day, they're working out of the other assignment, which is not the original assignment that God gave them, the purpose and the plan for them to be here. They have chosen to go another way. But then again, in the Bible, it also says, because I remember he said he hated Enoch. No, not Enoch. He hated, uh, what was his name? Was it Enoch? No, it wasn't Enoch. Esau and his children. And he loved Jacob and his. And a lot of them he called the seed of Satan. I was wondering about Cain. If Cain was, I got to do some more research on that. Don't quote me on it because I'm not sure, but I believe Cain may have been one of the seeds of Satan as well because of his actions in the garden. But when we look, certain people were born here to do certain things, and we see if they are the wicked ones and who's not. And God already knows who's who and what's what by DNA, genetic code, if they're his children, if they're not, if they're the devil's seed or his children, whatever it may be, he already knows it. And usually that's because of the choices that they choose to make, because they don't have to be that way. They just choose to be that way. And that's with everything else, because although people would say homosexuality, people choose to be that way because you don't have to be that way. If you got to go through that much to alter yourself and do certain things, please understand that that's because that's what you want it to be. It's not necessarily what it was brought here to be, because if you were meant to be whatever and God meant for you to be that, you would have been that in spirit and truth and body and mind and everything else. And I think we allow the devil to deceive, meaning lie, which he's been doing since the garden, steal, kill, and destroy us from the beginning in the spiritual realm and in this natural realm, in every aspect of our lives. So we have to be mindful. And people, if you want to know and learn, you got to start looking up, reading yourself, searching your ancestors, searching, your genealogy, your family was into. You can't believe everything you hear. You got to research and search for yourself. You got to find out from God what your purpose and your plans in your life and your assignment here is, so that you can get started. Usually it's whatever God has allowed you to face and go through in life. And that's a lot of times through pain and suffering and trial and tribulation. That's why we talk about pain and purpose a lot of times, because if you ever been a battered woman, then you might want to look into that, because you have the experience, you have the expertise, you have the knowledge, you have a testimony of those things. Whether you have been a homosexual and you changed, whether you've been into witchcraft or not, whether you have been, a sinner that was saved and back and forth, whether you had children out of wedlock or divorce, or whatever you did in life, fornicated or prostituted, or almost died and God brought you back, or if you're in helps, or you have visions, or you prophesy, whatever it may be, your gifts, your talents, the things, the issues of life that bother you here, whether it's the homelessness, the trafficking, the drugs, we all, alcoholism, we all have experienced things. We've gone through things, some more severe than others, or different, situations and circumstances. No one can say who's, better, deeper, more, whatever. We all have what we have. We all came with what we came with. We're all, here doing either what we're going to do, which is walk in it or not, accept the assignment, accept the purpose and the assignment or not. We can deny it by our actions, by living the way we live, by just choosing not to find out, seek, or try to know anything about God or what he has or what he wants for us and our purpose, because we didn't just get here out of nowhere, and no one could tell me that. And we're just not here for no reason, especially with everything that's going on. And I know even with a lot of people talking about these other religions and what that they have swapped, kind of intermingling with God and stuff, the tarots, the this, the that God is not in, because of those ways that God did not want us to have access and powers to. But whatever gifts you do have, God gave them to you, and you freely either use them for good or not. But that is your choice. God gives us all free will. And we have to, live with the consequences of our choices and actions based off of that. God is not going to free you from your mess, from your decision. You see what I'm saying? So you're going to reap, sow, good, bad, whatever it is going on, and you're going to have to take an account and answer for everything that you do or don't do here in every aspect, So we will want to be mindful. I hope, because I hope I didn't kind of discombobulate it. I hope it came across, Father, the way you told me and showed it to me. And, when we think about abortion, whether it's in the natural, our children, and the conception, or if it's in our own lives, when it comes to dabbling in other stuff where God, that wasn't our purpose, that wasn't our assignment, and if we're in it, maybe we were in it unknowingly and now we know different things and we need to come up out of it, because some people were raised in it, that's all they knew. And because we're born into this world and we're born not knowing anything and we're programmed and taught everything, you see what I'm saying? And we're programmed and taught the ways and world in the systems of the world. So the world we already know is, Lucifer and the devil and whatever he got going on, these systems and stuff, because we see how they operate, we see how they work, and they're not working on a godly system at all. We can see by their laws, their policies, procedures, and all we can do is ask God to get out of these patterns, these thoughts, thoughts, patterns, cycles, and the thoughts, the patterns, the cycles, and the habits that we have, because that's kind of where they kind of go from a thought to a cycle pattern, and then it's the actual habits that we have, and that's just everyday thoughts, everyday whatever it is that we do, whether it's good or bad, because we all have good and bad in us. No one here is perfect. We are born of the incorruptible seed. But I just hope that this video really helps somebody, because when I think about the things, I may not be able to get out there and do everything, but there's other people and we should help and support one another, whatever our gifts and talents are, as long as whatever outreach or whatever we're actually doing, get involved. It's not just the money, it's the mental, it's the emotional, it's the physical, it's the spiritual dynamics of, as well as the financial of whatever someone has going on, or if it's something we're starting and we want the support and we want, whatever it is that we want, we have to give it in life in order to get it. So if you want love, you got to give love. You want respect, you got to give respect. You can't ask for something you're not willing to give, because this is a reciprocal world we live in. We have to be, back and forth, giving to receive, on each end, giving that person when they need and giving the other person when they need. It's a back and forth situation. So like I said, we don't want to abort the children. We don't want to abort our assignments, our missions, and we don't want to abort theirs, because they have their own, lives to live and lead, and their own paths, that they need to go. And God put them here and just brought them through us to do whatever it is they're going to do here, and we are their parents. We were gifted, thank God, to have them come through us. He chose us like he chose Mary for whatever reason, whether we're the greatest or we're not, and whether we have issues or in between or not. So, like I said, we're bruised and not broken here. I ask you to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I don't ask for any funds. If anything, you should go out into your neighborhood and help other people. You should pray for other people. Things you're going through that other people may be going through. A lot of times you can pray for other people, because that'll help your situation. And whatever you're dealing with in life and going through, you might want to look at it, because that might be something you're supposed to be sent here to take care of. You see, in this world, and it doesn't matter what it is, and there's going to be some good areas, there's going to be some not good areas. We all have strengths, we all have weaknesses, and situations and circumstances are not the same. We're on different levels at different times, doing different things at different times, because we're our own individuals, each and every last one of us. We're going to learn and grow and move according to our own time schedule and not on others. And they may be further ahead in some things than we are, and then we may be further on in some things than they are, or vice versa, behind or moving forward or working on it. So grace, mercy must abound for all of us all. And until we are able to get it and find out the information we need and get it and get there and implement it. But I just really, like I said, I hope this is something. Oh, I know what. I'm working for these working with companies, especially this one called Urban Pathways. People, you can get out in your company, in your communities, and you can feed the homeless. You can go volunteer at the nearest places. You can help, donate your old clothing, your old this, whatever to these places, to people, that are less fortunate than you are. Help. I don't necessarily like Goodwill in certain places because they have the people, they charge them. But the company that I'm working with, they actually go out and they go into the communities and help get the people off of the streets, which is a beautiful thing. And it is a blessing because, a lot of people out there, they're homeless, have nowhere to go. They're on drugs, addictions, different things. They may not have anyone, or some of them are mentally ill, and, we're called to do that, to help, to be there because, first of all, this world, God gave to us all. And we're not supposed to be impoverished. We're not supposed to live the way we live. This is God's earth and his water. These people came here, and they're not people, the spirits, the evil wickedness that's here. They're charging us. They're forcing us. They're making us do these things. God gave all of us this earth, all of us this land, all of us this water, all of us. And a certain group, certain people decide they want to have it. But don't worry, because that's going to change too. Babylon fell. Pharaoh had issues. Goliath, Samson, all of them. They didn't deal with and God is not asleep, and he's still working on his throne. And when he gets ready, just like Babylon and all the other, I think it was Tyre, Jerusalem, Capernaum, bunch of different places destroyed. I remember even with Jesus going out into his own town and they didn't accept him and they didn't listen, and they just, and a lot of times that be the case, people will not support you. They will not like you. They will support anybody but you. They will like, share, comment, and subscribe to everybody else and won't do it for you. And that's fine because at this point in time, God has built and equipped certain people for certain things. Is the reason why folks was rejected all their life, so they could learn not to be swayed by a smiling face or a clap or a think you did well, because whether they do it or not, we already know we're not getting the big head behind it. We already know, thank you, it's not of us, it's of God, and that type of thing. So we already know how that goes. So that works in our favor too, whether folks, help us or support us or get it out, because you can find other people that they'll quickly do it if it was anybody else. But then when it's you, they don't want to do it. And then they'll take your content, they'll use it, or they'll speak about it with other people, other things, but they really won't even bother to like, share, comment, or subscribe because it's you. But that's fine too, and it's okay. I bless the Lord. I thank him for giving me, even though I didn't like the spirit of rejection, where I was being rejected left and right. Because I know how to not, look for it and expect it. A lot of people want to be up front. They want the money, power, fame, and all of that, to be loved and adored. Necessarily, I don't. I like to be in the back. I've been always telling God, please keep me in the back. Please keep me in the back. I don't like being in the front. I like being in the back. I don't like all the extra attention. I don't like all the whatever it is, because the same people, I remember when it came to Jesus, the same people Palm Sunday that was fanning them palms at him, worshiping, was the same people the following week that had sent him to the cross, to have him crucified. So one minute they'll sing your praises, and the next minute they'll be sending you straight to the cross. So I just learned in my life, but I thank you all if you do subscribe, if you do like, and if you do share the channel. Like I said, get out yourselves, find out what your purpose and assignment is. Ask God, ask him to lead you, to guide you, and with all the things you have going on already happened in your life, good and bad, you can take those things, your strengths, weaknesses, gifts, and talents in the spiritual realm and in the natural realm, and ask him to help you. Get with people who have some stuff that are, sharper than you, so they can help sharpen you. Get up under them. They can help you with what you have going on, because we all, need each other. We don't have all the answers. And one thing I love to do is learn from people who have been there and done that, because that shows me the experience. They are the ones that can tell me about certain things. I don't go to, people just randomly about things, because I know, if I go to someone, it's going to be to a person that knows about what they're doing, because they have, what it takes informatively, experientially, whatever, knowledge-wise, spirit-wise, to, give the information that I need, or the information that's going to help me. So I like to be, around people that is doing those type of things. But I'm a work in progress just like you. Don't follow me, follow Jesus. I am, just here to share what I'm learning, with people, maybe give them some insight, things that they never thought of, heard of before themselves. I'm just learning myself and I'm just sharing. But like I said, bruised and not broken. Be blessed, all of you beautiful, blessed souls. I pray blessings and breakthroughs and all the wonderful things in your lives and in your children's lives, prosperity, closer, walk with God, to have relationship, fellowship with Him, and to really, know Him for yourself, so that you're not doubted, you're not questioning. You got to be rooted and grounded and understand and know to talk to Him about things, because we are just human beings here. We are not, we're made in His image and likeness. Don't get me wrong, but we're not God. And we can do some things, but we can't do them all, at least not yet. We're supposed to get there, though. He said we're supposed to eventually not get like God, but we're supposed to get like Jesus. He's supposed to be able to do. But anyway, rules are not broken. Love you guys. Be blessed. Like I said, like, share, and subscribe. If you do know of our urban pathways, we're here in New York. Please stop at a center. You can send stuff like soap, toothpaste, clothes, whether they're old or new. You can drop them off to the nearest. And I tell people this all the time: instead of wasting things, there's other people out there who would love to have them. You can drop them off for someone else to use. Like I said, Goodwill and them, they like to charge, because I used to do that a lot. But if you go to your nearest shelter or your nearest whatever, usually they have a place where you can drop things off for people, because they really do appreciate it and they really do need it. And if you want to give, you want to give to the ones who are already out there doing, the work, and help those ministries, especially the smaller ones that are trying to get themselves built up, and grow, so that they can do more. If you yourself cannot get out there like that, at least support those who are out there like that, because they appreciate it. They go through a lot. It's hard work. It's not easy to do. And a lot of people do not want to do it. These people go unseen, unnoticed. They're hated. They're disliked. They're, seen as the worst of the earth. But God sees them. He loves them. He hears them. And He, values them in their life just as He values ours. Is no difference in it. So like I said, love you guys. Any food, anything, instead of throwing your canned goods away, go and take it down there. Feed somebody on the street that might be, give them some clothes, something. This would be a way for you to give back, to your community, to yourself. Pray for them. Pray for the people in your area as well. And at your job as well. But anyway, like I said, I love you guys. Later, be blessed. We're bruised and not broken. Have a good one. Later.